Test, 1, 2. Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing? Good, yes? Isn't that great that Mrs. Como organized this for us to get together? Hey? Yep. Madame Como, where is she? She's an awesome lady. Anyway, so my little story here is to tell you that what I've done over the last couple of years and understand what we need to do as a school system. So I'm actually working at Francophone Sud. I'm the Director of Research, Innovation, and Change Management. So my whole story is that when we start, I have met in Washington, Elliot Isner, and one of his slide deck was just called that, the job of the school is basically to do well at school, okay, but also most importantly to do well in life. And truth to be told, the education system receiving a lot of stress and a lot of pressure by the innovative society. We've got pressure of the ICT revolution, the handheld device, the digital technologies, right, okay, and forces the globalization worldwide. And two factors, one as a human being, how that we can be globalized as a person, as a digital citizenship, and be balanced, right, but at the same time, from a global economy perspective, what does it mean, okay? And we got a huge challenge for us as students to embrace that new innovative societies, and where do we fit as an individual? So in 1980s and 2007, there's two phenomena that occur. And the first one was the appearance of digital industry, or the digital age, where it started with IBM. It went after that to Windows. It went after that to Google, who completely transformed our industry. And we're now at the Apple industry, or the app development structure. So that was the first kind of boom of how that industry has transformed itself. Kind of the first gear. The second gear really started with the appearance of Steve Jobs with the iPhone. The iPhone was one thing, all right? Was with all the other apps that supported the iPhone industry that completely revolutionized the industry, per se, again. So we lived it in 80, and we lived it in 2007 again, okay? And the school system as a whole was said, wow, what happened? We just didn't know yet, right? Okay, and industry tried to embrace that as more and more to increase their performances. That gave birth of big data, which initially steamed to our AI. I guess a hard time to say help. Thank you. All right. Okay. So now we got farmers, right, sat in P3 suit, sitting in his office, and have 3 monitors in front of us. They've got their tractor that completely robot and automatized. They've got their right-hand screen, calculating the level of productivity per cost, all automated, and in front of the third desk, you got the stock market to decide when they sell and when they buy. That's what real world's happening right now, okay? On top of that, they got built-in intelligence right now that if the tractor or the robots identify, a disease in the crop whatsoever, automatically send a drone, okay, and to address, where the spot is in the crop. This is how industry is working right now. There's a lot more automation by artificial intelligences. Okay, this. So thank you. All right. So let's moving forward. Here's even an interesting one. This company, Odom, based in San Diego, and they're in the process of revolutionizing the post-secondary industry by hacking them. Basically is that they're utilizing blockchaining. And let's say imagine yourself had a syllabus, you can sell it and make money with it and be recognized in digital currency. That's the brand new kind of new road of the global economy we're heading. How many of you have heard blockchaining? How many want to learn blockchaining? I suggest that you should read about it. It's pretty interesting. They're aware that the global economy is heading to, right? But we also have a new way of working in operation. They got new spaces to solve complex process, but also new approach of working. So we used to go to places where you have a control and manage ecosystem, for lack of a better term, right? Okay, to an environment which is basically more communicate and collaborating learning environment. I used to go to work. Now I go to work to learn, right? Because the industry are evolving so fast now that I got to go and learn and contribute to the innovation daily, because organizations have data dynamically. Right? It's not about what I'm going to do at the end of the week. It's what I'm going to do at the end of the day. This is how Staple, Microsoft, Steelcase, they're all working that way in the dynamic data that provide some trends and patterns on how they can behave and make smart decisions. So there's a new type of skill problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, creation. Those are the top skills that the industry are requiring us. So we need to be in tune to respond to that act. So my work have to identify that industry are working to say, are you engaged at work? Are you passionate at work? Do you have great communication skill? Can you work collaboratively to problem solve? Those are the top 4 actually that they're looking for now. Okay, so be in tune about those skills development while you're doing at work. And we got this brand new type of leadership. We argue leadership 4.0, which is basically responsive leadership, or in other words, called swarm leadership. I used to go to work with a title. Now I go to work with no title. So this whole ecosystem of structure right now is completely redesigned. So it value everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a person with a screwdriver or a big business person or the accounting. We're at the same level. We are part of the team. The team is performing to contribute to the community and also to compete globally. So this whole system, how it works is on a daily basis, they're looking to improve their performances. After they improve performance, they ask questions. How can we improve our performances? And can we do some small experimentation so we can convey our data and finally collaborate to foster improvement and start reflecting to improve the next day? Doesn't matter if the service industry or the manufacturing industry, that's what industry are doing right now on a daily basis, right? Okay, So the challenge for this is how can we do the same thing as a learning platform? So they're constantly innovating, they're constantly validating, and also they're constantly reflecting to improve performances. This is how innovation is built now in our world. So from a school perspective, is that we seem to be able to reach the industry need from, the steam industry, the electrical industry, where we're able there, to reach the competencies there for the automation. But since the digital age, education system seems to be struggling to fill the gap. And after that, are we as much engaged at school as we should be, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a clear mismatch between the formal education and the innovative society. So moving forward, how can school system embrace the age of acceleration? So I'd like to ask this question to you, if we have time, is how can we embrace that gap of the age acceleration? And while I was in Dubai, this guy called Thomas L. Freeman, and he's a New York Times panelist, I think, working, and he mentions that we got 3 forces that reshaping the world. One is the Moore's Law, which is basically any digital technologies speed up and for every 2 years per se as an average for the same price. So it's double the speed for the same price every 2 years. So our smartphone in 2 years will be twice as hard, twice as fast for the same price, right? So that's one thing. The second one there is definitely the global economy, the globalization. 1492 to 1820, the globalization or the global economy was controlled and managed by royalty or countries. From 1820 to 2004, more specifically, it was controlled and managed, right, by a major firm and major company. It started with the Hudson Bay, and it finished with eBay. Because at eBay now, every student or every individual has got an idea, can actually sell their service or their product online, right, automatically. It doesn't matter. So free publication is one of the flatteners that allowed, opportunities for innovate. And the third one, more specifically, is that the Mother Nature. We all know that the Mother Nature there is pretty much, telling some indicators that we have to do something. Those are the 3 shapes. My point of view, from an education perspective, there's 3 forces. The first forces is basically the learning space. We know that industry have completely transformed the way their ecosystem to their ecosystem to an ecosystem, right? So they revolutionized the way that how people can collaborate and communicate together and problem solve together. The second one is the learning culture. And the third one is basically the learning community. The education system cannot survive alone anymore. We have to be together as a community. So our space needs to be a space that student can innovate, student can be validating their learning, and also sharing by presenting. This is very important about, how do we design our school now. I visited 41 schools in 22 countries. I was fascinated by new type of learning and how is it engaging that. And if I had more time, I could talk more about it. But space need to be multifunctional. They need to be engaging. They definitely need to be diversified. And they definitely need to be, right, okay, comfortable. Like today. You guys comfortable? Yeah, it's cool, eh, right? Why not at school as well, right, with this? So deep learning. While I do my research in Salisbury Middle School, one of the students cite this, I like to use my fingers and my brain. I still do not understand that, right? When I say fingers, they like to do things, right? Using my brain, they like to think. Is our school thinking? Are students thinking at school? Are they using their hand to conceive, design, create, collaborate, publish? All right? Those are all action that our industry are looking for, right? And the computational thinking, which is a deep learning process that students perceive. Student makes some decision, they're executing, and they have instant feedback. That's the deep learning process that we need to engage into our school student learning experience. Doesn't matter the subject, doesn't matter the time of the day. You need to use their fingers and their brain, right, to innovate and create. And most importantly, the third one, oh, sorry. I was looking on my slides. I was a slide ahead. Were you guys following? Maybe not. I have no feedback. That's not good. Okay. So where was I? Yeah, so this is the deep learning process that we were talking about. That school, the students got to go through this. I got to go back and say, how much time do I got? Oh, I got 10 minutes left. So the deep learning is basically things that you guys can do during your thinking process. While you're analyzing, are you decomposing, are you doing algorithm? You got this decomposed problem in context. For example, creating, collaborating, persevering. Are you utilizing and identify some patterns? Let's say, for example, the first thing that you guys see as a problem, the first question that student are asking themselves, did I seen this before? Right? If I've seen this before, actually I can utilize that in that context. You call that patterns and relationship. You guys learning that in math? Please answer yes. Okay, because it's part of the report card, just so you know. Okay, so here we are, right? In this whole learning process I was alluding to by perception, decision, execution, and feedback. And truth to be told, this is how industry are working on a daily basis. They're perceiving their data, they're actually, analyzing, and when they make a decision, they're executing by prototyping, and when they have their feedback, they're readjusting. So learning, it's an open skill. It's always dynamic, it's not passive, right? It's always deep learning, this. And the most important thing, and I do believe that is a learning community. And when I talk about learning community, I'm not talking about learning community as a classroom. I'm not talking about learning community as a school. I'm talking about the learning community by involving all members of the communities. And there's actually 4 pillars of that. And those 4 pillars are research, partnership, community itself, and an ongoing learning platform. And what I mean by that is you don't have to go to school to learn. Actually, you can learn outside of school, in school. School is just a space, right? A space to go so you can socialize, you can learn, you can definitely develop, innovation at school. It need to be not only one component, but the 4 of them. And once you've got that, now you've got a connected learning network where that we can utilizing resource outside of the classroom to help us, right? This is what's important at this point is teachers used to have all knowledge. Do they have all knowledge now? So who got the knowledge? Yeah, internet's got one piece of the knowledge, but we got other people also can have the knowledge for doing that. So the community, the beating heart of innovation, ideas, and global competencies. Partnership, let's work together, right, okay, to support our school, our people, and our community as a whole. The third component, which is very important for me, is research. Decision based on facts. So let's put research into play. So we can do a research, but if we do nothing about that, it may be valid, but it's not reliable how we do. So we need to continue always building on that. And finally, a space that everyone from the community can go, where that a student can come and present to the community, and where that the community members present this world. And that's why I give a lot of credit to Mrs. Cindy Como to organize and spending a whole lot of energy to bring local community partners and leaders in the community to share, but also down the road, or maybe one day, having the opportunity to listen to you guys as well, right? And I'm sure that you guys have and will for doing that. So I give a lot of credit to Mrs. Como for doing that. It's a great, great opportunity to get together. This. And now my closure will be the following, right? If we want to have, a very smart community, we need to have smart people. And to have smart people, you need to have smart schools. And have a better understanding to merge those two together, right? Is that when the community will be the school will be the community. We have a tendency to say, well, okay, my school is part of a community. It's actually reverse engineer. When the community will be the school will be the community, because you'll be part of the community as a whole, because you're already there. You guys are there already. So I'm going to finish with a little small video that we've done that will replicate a working environment, right? We studied the industry, and we did actually this in the classroom, and we studied the behavior. And here's how it looks like. Thank you very much. My last day, I would just have one site. I always believe in it. When the world is so connected, we can unlock infinite opportunities by leverage people's knowledge and empower others. I need your knowledge so I can empower others. Thank you.